What's up my people, my name is Spicy and I want to remind you to participate in the giveaway to win one of the 4 Amazon gift cards I am gifting you for helping me reach the 2500 subscribers mark. So first, subscribe, then click the link in the description to get a chance to win. It is totally free. I've got some spicy out-of-work related stories for you today, so tune in, turn on the notifications to be part of the early gang, and leave a fire in the comments if you are having fun with me. Congratulations Marta for the comment of the day. I don't usually work here, lady. Context: I am a lifeguard, and it is coming to that time of year where all of the college lifeguards go to school. So my manager starts scrambling for people to take shifts. The management company manages 4 different complexes, but Complex A is by far the largest. Guards from Complex A rarely take shifts from other complexes, and vice versa. They even get their own schedule because they have 5 pools. Now onto the story. 7:52 AM. I get woken up to a call from my manager. She never calls, always texts, asking me to take the 8:30 shift at Complex A Pool 4. Says I will get time and a half and I am not doing anything anyways. She never calls and never schedules guards to Complex A. She is really desperate for someone to work. Sure, I'll take it. 8-ish. I hit the local deli, grab a baking egg and cheese and a large coffee. I needed it. 8:25. I arrive at the pool and I see an Audi in the parking space facing in. Whatever. I clock in on my phone as I walk up, open the gate, take down chairs, open umbrellas, wipe tables, take chemicals, write info onto the board. Everything's done, so I take out my phone and sandwich and finally eat. 8:45, 9 AM. People start coming to the pool, including this lady, who we will call Audi Lady. She is the instructor to the water aerobics class that I definitely knew existed today. She's complaining that the lifeguards are always on their phone, and she looks at me, inattentive and tired, looks at me, and even sleeping with their hats covered their faces. She looks at me again, and I was wearing a hat. She then walks up to me and says, "Hey you, my name is on the whiteboard. You need to be attentive today. You can't use your phone, and you have to be watching them, the people taking the class. Also, I was told lifeguards are not allowed to eat at the pool." Okay, so patrons are allowed to eat, but I can't? Whatever. Ma'am, if I don't eat and have my coffee, there's no way I'm going to be able to save anyone. I don't know how to write this, but you know what I mean. The lifeguards are always like this. I'm going to have to complain to Complex A Pool Committee. Sure lady, you do you. The class starts. I am paying good attention. There's only like 5 people in the pool, so it was pretty easy day. 9:30. I check the time. Sometime between, I get up to throw out my tin foil, coffee cup, and I'll fill up my water bottle at the fountain, all while still in eye shot of the entire pool. 9:55. I check the time again. Class ends at 10, so yay, 10. Audi Lady thanks everyone for coming and then walks over to me. "I just want to let you know that you were being very disrespectful and neglected everything I said to you beforehand. I am done with this BS. Like, what? Ma'am, you were constantly checking your phone. You stood up and walked to the bathroom, and you were yawning the entire time. What do you mean, like what?" "Alright ma'am, it won't happen again, because I won't be at that pool again." "You're right, it won't, because I would be reporting you to the Complex A Pool Committee. I don't pay for lifeguards to act this way." "I work at Complex B. I was calling this morning because this pool had no guard anyways. I have literally never worked here." The lady just gets into her Audi and leaves, and so did all of the patrons taking the water aerobics class. 10:05, I began writing this post. So apparently, lifeguards never need to eat, drink, or go to the bathroom, and presumably, since she teaches a water aerobic class, she's a competent swimmer and paying attention to her students. I don't know the actual rules of pool and employment, but it is your responsibility to actually make sure everyone is safe in the pool. So having her on your back is more of a hustle more than anything else. It is literally your job to create a safe environment, and the way she's treating you makes you feel like it is not going to be a safe environment. So 2 quick reminders for you. The first reminder is to go and participate in the giveaway because it is free. All you have to do is subscribe subscribe to the channel, and also click the link in the description to enter your email, and you will participate in gaining one of the 4 Amazon gift cards that I'm giving away, and they have $25 each in it, and it is totally free to participate, so have fun with these. And the second reminder is, if you're loving my content or you love what I do here and you're having fun with me, well, first off, drop a fire in the comments, that is very important. And for the second reminder, please consider subscribing to the channel because I am putting a lot of effort into this, so if you want to support what I do, well, that will be one way to do it, so thank you in advance. Teachers call security, thinking I am a student trying to skip school. This is a pretty simple story, but I think it belongs in this subreddit. It is not an "I don't work here" so much of a "I don't go here," but I've seen other stories like that, so I hope this fits too. When I was in uni, one of my first majors was education. I had accepted a loan from a program that offered full loan forgiveness if you work in a low-income school for 3 years after graduation, and I thought I would make a good English teacher. One of the requirements was shadowing a teacher in a local school, so I set up a date to get that over with and got my best friend to drop me off. It was pretty straightforward. I spent a few hours following a teacher around, doing some simple tasks to help, sitting in the back of a classroom, and getting confused stares from way too many middle schoolers. Oh, and having war flashbacks because all middle schools are the same. After my time was up, I thanked the teacher and went out into the front of the school to wait for my friend to pick me up. He was running a little late because, well, he's a gamer and sometimes he loses track of time. A lot. It was late fall semester, and so it was getting pretty cold. I was pacing back and forth on the front sidewalk to keep warm. I did not realize that the building I was pacing in front of was the cafeteria, and the first round of lunch period was happening, so that place is filled with people. And me, wearing a bright tie-dye hoodie, was pretty easily seen from all the big windows. As I am pacing, a security guard comes out of the cafeteria and walks up to me. "Hey, what are you doing out here? You should be in class." I stare at him for a moment because he's got one of those deep Upper Curlican accents and it takes a while for the words to process. I'm waiting for my ride." "Does your teacher know you're out here?" Me, with realization. "Oh, I don't go here." I pointed to my hoodie, which was emblazoned with the name of my university, big letters. One of the 2 local college. There was no way for him to know this, but the edition of the hoodie I own is actually one that only ran for my freshman year and could not, and still can't, be brought online. It had to be bought in the campus store. The man gives me this look like he's waiting for me to admit that I am lying. He gestures to me to follow him back in the building. "No, really, I don't go here. I'm not a middle schooler. I'm 21. He huffs a bit as I fumble for my wallet. I pull out both my college ID and my military civilian ID that clearly states that I am not a teenager and that I definitely attend the local uni. He seems actively surprised when he squints at both forms of my identification and then kinds of looks at me again with new eyes. He apologizes and walks away, leaving me to wait there for my friend in peace. I know I am babyface, but this was one of the most ridiculous instances of being mistaken for a child, especially since I was not the only teacher shadowed from the university that day. I am about to be 26 and people still look at me like I'm 17. When the swimming pool publish your number in their adverts and won't do anything about it, start taking bookings. My beloved grandfather, who is no longer with us, had an issue when the local pool and sports center used his number by mistake in an advert. He lived in a part of the world with a unique legal system. It becomes relevant later, so I will adapt the terminology to make it more global. He was in his 70s, stubborn and a little devious. This was also nearly 30 years ago, so many modern conveniences such as caller ID, etc. were not around. The first call came when they had just returned to the house after it was flooded during an unusually high tide. "Is that a swimming pool?" "No, you should have been here last week." A few more calls asking about facilities and opening times were answered politely because it was not the caller's fault, but the sports center refused to do anything about it because they were not being bothered by it. They suggested if it was a problem, he could just change his number. He saw no reason for him to do this when the problem was made by him, so he decided to start taking bookings and giving out the wrong information. The final call. Unwitting stranger. I would like to book a court. How much would it be to reserve it? Devious grandfather. $1,000 US. How much? $10,000 US. To reserve a squash court? I don't have any squash courts. I was quoting you for magistrate's court. After a little more back and forth, my grandfather explains to the unwitting stranger that he had dialed a wrong number because the sports center had failed to correct a mistake. He gave them the right number, but asked the stranger to make sure he told the sports center how infuriating it was to have their time wasted because of this mistake. The sports center paid for the operator to screen calls from then on. I don't work here, I'm just deaf. I am a 17-year-old theater nerd. Fiddler on the Roof just came to town and my dad took me to see it. I use those assisting listening devices because I can't really hear. It clips on your shirt or pants and it has headphones you wear. I went to the bathroom wearing the device. Right as I am coming out, this lady grabs my shoulder. I did not see it yet, but she had a little boy with her. Hey, where are my seats? What? I don't know. I don't work here. Then why are you wearing a headset? This is so I can hear the actors. I'm deaf. I am actually hard of hearing, but sometimes I don't feel like explaining the difference between deaf and hard of hearing, so I just say deaf since it is easier. How does it work? You're talking. What? If you were really deaf, you would be using that sign language stuff. You would not be talking. I sign this as I say it. Thank you, Rinky Pointer, for the response. Being deaf is about whether or not your ears work and had nothing to do with how well your mouth works. I turn to the kid. You know how the actors wear microphones? This little box here gets the signal, kinda like how the speakers in the theater do. It's kinda like my own private speaker in a way. You get your own private speaker? Kinda. I can hear from the normal ones. You can hear me just fine. It's complicated and it doesn't matter. If you want one, there's some desk upstairs that gives them out, and if you're not deaf, there's some kind of fee. Take me there or give me yours. You can get another one. No, I could not. You have to give them your ID as collateral. No, I gotta get back to my dad. I walked away and she continued to call after me, but I pretended I did not hear her until I eventually actually could not. Kind of anticlimactic, I know, but I have real bad anxiety and wanted to enjoy a nice night with my dad. I forgot to add, while I was walking away, I heard her screaming that I was not deaf and to stop ignoring her and do my job. I seriously don't know how she mistook my blue flowery dress for the all-black uniform of employees. It just really irritates me that she said, "Just give me yours." The entitlement of a lady wanting something for fun and expecting someone with disability to give it up? She sounds like a real pleasant lady. Give me yours. What a Karen. I think you handled this pretty well. Karens are always a hassle. You did well. You can be proud. Crazy Japanese tour guy screams at a waitress for not fixing the air conditioner. This is my first time on this subreddit, but it fits here perfectly. I got myself a summer job as a waiter in a restaurant of a 4-star hotel. Their job is easy. The tourists get the food from the buffet, and when they are finished, I take away the empty plates. I work with another student, let's call her Mia, and 3 full-time workers. This happened yesterday. At dinner, there were 3 of us. Me, the other student, and 1 full-timer. We had a busy night. We had 120 people at dinner, and we were cleaning and closing the buffet for tonight. When all of a sudden, the tour guide of the Japanese group comes bursting in. Mia was cleaning the buffet while I was getting the tables ready for breakfast. The tall, angry Asian man, AM, walks towards tiny Mia with the wrath of 1,000 suns. I'm sorry, sir, but we are closed. Stereotypical Asian accent. One of our rooms has broken AC. What? One of our AC units is broken. I'm sorry, sir. I can't help you with that. I'm just a waitress. Go ask the front desk for help. You are all the same. Is this how you treat guests? Ungrateful. Pathetic. This went on for another minute until I realized what was going on. I just heard very loud Japanese and a couple of swears sprinkled in there. By the time I get to the buffet, poor Mia was bawling her eyes out. I did not hear the beginning of the conversation, so I calmly tried to reason with the man. What seems to be the problem, sir? The AC is broken in your guest rooms. Sir, we are waiters. We can help you with that. Go to the reception. Eee! I don't know what angry Asian noises are, sorry. At this point, I just showed him the door and told him to leave. He continued to shout for another few minutes, then left. Mia still crying. It took her 10 minutes to calm down, and then she told us the full story. The nerve of some people amazes me daily. Sorry for typos and misspelled words. I'm foreign and lazy. Yeah, and sorry if I messed up the accent. I just tried something. I find it odd that race is mentioned so often, and it really did not add anything to the story than mention that they were specifically Asian. Don't get me wrong, I am not saying the writer was racist, but the way he wrote it, he wanted everyone reading it to know he was specifically Asian. And if this came off as rude or anything, I really don't mean it. I just wanted to offer my view on it. What I am referring to that did not add anything to the story was when he said stereotypical Asian accent and angry Asian noises. Hey, please participate in the giveaway where I am giving you 4 Amazon gift cards of $25 each. You can buy anything you want with these cards. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel and click the link in the description. It would ask you for your email, and that is for me to reach you out because I can contact people through YouTube. There's just no option to message my viewers. So go ahead and participate in the giveaway for Amazon gift cards. You will find more I Don't Work Your Lady videos here, so please like this video if you're having fun. See ya!